Learning mathematics is a process of expansion and growth. With the introduction of each new concept, our previous worldview is shattered and then reconstructed. Gradually expanding the limits of our knowledge, we become aware of endless new possibilities. From whole numbers to decimals to negative numbers to imaginary numbers, with appropriate guidance, dedication, and practice, we learn to use mathematics and numbers to solve increasingly complex problems. And for those who pursue it to the limits, mathematicians begin exploring beyond what is known, venturing into uncharted territory. The field of mathematics is still evolving. A quick Google search reveals a range of articles such as the 10 biggest math breakthroughs of 2021. It appears like there's a whole audience, a group of people who want to read about the work of mathematicians at the cutting edge of innovation and discovery. The articles cite developments toward progress in important sounding theories such as the Riemann hypothesis and the Collatz conjecture, as well as other equally formal and academic sounding theories. Now, none of these names make any sense to me, nor would they make any sense to anyone who hasn't attained a particularly in-depth understanding of mathematics. But they do make sense to those at the cutting edge, those bold enough to venture into the unknown. I think the discovery of spirit and God is similar. It's not a stagnant theory captured in its totality, bound up between the covers of historical texts and doctrines, just as mathematics doesn't stop with René Descartes or Pythagoras in your Year 9 textbook. God and spirit can't be captured in a single set of facts to be learned for an engineering exam. It's more than simply a bunch of content to be memorized to see if we can pass a test, though life certainly will throw a couple of tests at us from time to time. The revelation of the infinite God is continually expanding and evolving in our present experience. In fact, the only experience of the infinite that we truly ever have is captured in the eternal and infinite present moment. The present moment is without beginning and it's without end. It's always happening infinitely, without limit, and we're participating in it. When we enter this experience with curiosity and presence, we cannot help but be inspired. And inspiration is what leads us to capture fragments of the infinite within finite mediums. Mediums that are accessible, that enable us to share our experience with others. It's what drives us to capture a photograph of a sunset, or to make a drawing, create a piece of music, or write a story. Invent a new and improved toothbrush. To me, this is all experience of the infinite spirit. There's an ancient Indian parable of 6 blind men and an elephant that captures our experience of the infinite beautifully. There are 6 blind men sitting by the road when an elephant walks through their town. And the blind men hear that the elephant's coming and they all cry out, "We want to see the elephant." So the man leading the elephant stops and the first blind man stands up and he happens to stumble into the side of the elephant. And he says, "Oh, now I know exactly what the elephant is like. An elephant's just like a wall." The second man, a little further down the road, stands up, reaches out his hand and grabs the elephant by the tusk. He says, "You fool, the elephant's not like a wall at all. It's round and smooth like a spear." The third man stands up, reaching out his hand, and takes hold of the elephant's trunk. He says, "Neither of you know what you're talking about. It's clear to anybody that an elephant is just like a snake." Then the fourth man stands up and happens to take hold of the elephant by the leg. He says, "An elephant is not like a snake, a spear, or a wall. An elephant is just like a tall tree." Then the fifth man reaches out and grabs the elephant by the ear. He's a particularly tall man. He grabs the elephant by the ear and says, "No, an elephant is just like a big flappy fan." And then finally the sixth man, who's at the end of the line and struggling to keep up with the group, reaches out just in time to grab the elephant by the tail and says, No, an elephant is just like a piece of rope. It's nothing special at all." So none of these men are wrong, yet none of them have the whole picture of what an elephant is truly like. When it comes to the infinite and the eternal, who among us could ever claim to know the whole picture? And anyone who does claim to know the whole nature of God, Well, they're claiming that God's not infinite at all.